If you ever have a chance to eat a Fredericksburg, Texas peach, I encourage you to do that. They are so good. You will know when you eat a Fredericksburg peach because it's very different. Now, I know you think that Georgia is the place to get the best peaches, but I'm telling you right now, Fredericksburg, Texas, in the hill country of Texas, is where you will find the best peaches. I had a chance to spend time in Fredericksburg last week just to be able to get fresh peaches. And depending on what time of the summer you get to Fredericksburg will depend on which kind of peach you should get. It just so happened that during the time I was in Fredericksburg, that was the perfect time to harvest Bounty peaches. And so we were able to try some Bounty peaches, and they were so good. And when you got those fresh peaches and some homemade ice cream, man, nothing better, nothing better. When we had peach cobbler and just the fresh peaches and peaches for breakfast and peach ice cream, it was wonderful. Nothing better than a Fredericksburg peach. If you're a peach fan, you got to go to Fredericksburg one day and get a peach. There's something different about a Fredericksburg peach versus a peach that you get in the grocery store. I'm telling you, it tastes different. It even looks a little bit different. There's something different about that. And when we first got to Texas, when we went to my cousin's house, there was peaches from Fredericksburg and there was peaches that maybe they had bought from a grocery store or something, and they looked different. And you could tell they were very different. When I read the prayer that Jesus prays in John chapter 17, and I hear him talking about his disciples, it makes me think a little bit about these peaches. In verse 14, he's talking about his apostles, and he says, I have given them your word, and the world has hated them because they are not of the world, just as I am not of the world. The world hated the apostles because they were different. You have two kinds of peaches right here. One's a Fredericksburg, one's not. And you can tell there's a difference. You have two kinds of people, an apostle of Jesus and someone who's of the world. And they were different. And the world hated them because they were different. Verse 15, I do not ask that you take them out of the world, but that you keep them from the evil one. They are not of the world, just as I am not of the world. Sanctify them in truth. Your word is truth. There's something different about followers of Jesus. The world doesn't like them. There's something that sets them apart, that sanctifies them, that makes them different. And that is the truth. And that's the only thing that sets a follower of Jesus apart. That's really important to remember. The truth is the only thing that sets a follower of Jesus apart from the world. It's not how we feel. It's not how we look. It's not where we grew. It is the vine, though, isn't it? The vine that is Jesus and the truth of his word. If we don't allow ourselves to be sanctified, to be set apart by the truth that is God's word, we're not going to be set apart. And we're going to be that rotten piece of fruit that's just dying on the counter that has no value. If we want to be a healthy, vibrant piece of fruit, growing on that vine and blooming in God's word, we have to be committed to the word, not committed to how we feel, not committed to whatever's politically correct, not committed to whatever the trendy religion being propagated on Twitter is, but by the truth. We have to be bold enough to speak it. We have to be loving enough to share it. But we can only be set apart and called one of God's children if it is by truth. That's where I want to be, and I'm so glad to be there with so many of you. Let's commit ourselves to continually being people of the truth so that we can be set apart as one of God's and protected from the evil one. We got to be here in this world, but at least we can know if we're set apart, we will be protected. I love you all. Have a great week.